Welcome to the Market Mystics podcast, where we discuss what's happening in the cryptosphere and trading on earth as it is in heaven. Buckle up and huddle on while we dive in and get weird. Here are your hosts, Joshua and Kimb.
Good afternoon, everybody. I hope your Thursday is going well. It is very cold where we are, and there's a pretty solid chance for some snow or ice tonight. So hopefully you are in warmer, sunnier weather wherever you may listen to this.
Yeah, and I wish I was with you. You know what we should do? We should do a meetup. We should just get all of our crazy weirdos from the mystic markets, and we should all go to a beach somewhere. We could sip some drinks and talk about crypto.
And listen to some music.
What a great idea. Crypto plus music.
That sounds like a party.
This is brilliant, Josh.
So, Kim, what are we talking about today?
This episode is called NFTunes because we are legitimately talking about crypto plus music. There's been a lot of hubbub. I'll use that word. That's kind of fun. Hubbub in all of the different mediums of news for crypto and NFTs and blockchain and everything regarding music. It's been for months, but I think it's something worth talking about. Number one, because it's something that is developing and being innovated at a very quick pace, but also I love music.
Oh.
That's just a fact. I also love crypto. And so the pairing of the two really is like true love.
This is true. It really makes me think back to the bonus episode we had with Francois, where he was talking about how you could make anything into an NFT. You could do a podcast as an NFT. You could do art as an NFT. You could do music as an NFT. Like you can do all digital content as an NFT. And if all digital content were an NFT, then the way you vote for what you want to exist, the content that you get value from, is really determined by where you spend your money. And I would say that's how everything is already. Where you spend your money is where you're voting that's what you derive value from. But NFTs in all of this space really just kind of give you a good picture and a good representation of how that could really look, because the artists who are producing the music that is popular, they're going to rise to the top because that's who's people are buying their music. The podcasts that are popular, that are giving like maybe educational information or just fun information, but the ones that are popular, those are going to rise to the top. And they sort of already do to some extent, but by people being rewarded for creating content like an NFT would do, it would encourage them to make better content because they want to make something worthwhile. Whereas to some extent, I mean, you can go on YouTube and there's like thousands of hours of content that are uploaded every day to YouTube. And most of it's never seen because it's just crappy stuff. It just doesn't deserve the time of day. But the stuff that is popular tends to rise to the trending pages. Well, now we're just saying, hey, instead of voting with your click of your mouse, your like button, vote with 99 cents or something like that. Say, hey, I like this podcast. I like this song. Like, I want to listen to it.
Heck yeah. I think that's exactly where we're going. And I think what we'll see with some of that, just the shift of how you show your value in music in this way, I think it's going to open up a lot more avenues for these artists to actually create and be creative and do kind of what they're made for. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I'm big on identity. And I think a lot of times these artists get in with record labels and they get molded into a form that the record label wants them to be. And they kind of lose some of their ability to create the way that they were made to create. So I think we might really start seeing some mind-blowing creations coming out in the music industry because people are getting the freedom to be able to create how they're supposed to. They're able to list their own music. They're able to make the majority of the money. And it's a big change in the music industry.
Yeah. So when I was growing up, everyone had cassette tapes and then um, CDs,
Mhm.
and then we went to like iPods where you're buying music and loading it on your iPod. But now what everyone does are subscription-based services where, you're paying whatever amount and you just have access to whatever music is in that library. But that isn't really ownership. You're really renting that music.
Right.
Do you think that pairing music with NFTs will sort of bring us to a new evolution where ownership is more the emphasis?
Yes, I think I have been reading a lot about all of this and a lot even from the musician's standpoint. And part of what they're wanting to do is put their products out there, put their music out there, and allow people to have ownership in it. So you were talking about investing what you hold valuable into these things, into this artistry. But they're talking about even building community of fans by having people own a piece of what they're putting out. And that is different, and I think it's almost like legitimizing some of what was happening in the early 2000s. Um, I don't know about you, and maybe I'm incriminating myself and I ought not say this, but you were talking about MP3s when that was really coming on the scene. I'll be honest, I was in college. I was like doing homework about 10% of the time and trying to download things from Livewire because I didn't quite get on the Napster bandwagon. And it took forever. And sometimes you got music that was glitchy,
Hmm.
but like building this library because it was valuable to me and I wanted to have this music accessible. And at that time, I could then get these digital copies and not have to tote around a big portfolio of all the CDs,
Right.
which was also quite the stage.
Yes.
But I have to tell you, I only read about this today and it only dropped yesterday, the news of this LimeWire, which kind of went dark in about 2010 or so after
Makes sense.
huge lawsuits and settlements that were paid for that distribution of music without rights that was happening, like I just confessed to participating in, and I have learned my lesson. And let me just tell you, I have used iTunes to own music ever since then. Legitimately, I pay for it. Okay, just for the record. I also subscribe to Spotify though. Anyway, Livewire is back on the scene. A couple guys bought them out and they are planning to launch an NFT marketplace focused on art and the music industry. It's expected to launch in May with an NFT token reward system later this year. I find it really interesting, and I think it's kind of a good, smart move to take this company LimeWire that was already known, at least by my generation, I'll say, for being people who put music out there available for people, but legitimizing it. So these new owners are, this is what this article is saying. Given LimeWire's connection with the music industry, it was primarily used for downloading pirated songs. Yes, we just talked about that. The new era for the brand will be focused on supporting artists in the music industry. They're returning as a platform for artists, not against them. the majority of the revenue will go directly to the artists, and they will be working with creators to allow full flexibility, ownership, and control when it comes to their content. I think that's such a great move by these people who have bought out this company using a name that's already known and kind of flipping the narrative on what they were known for and trying to really honor these artists and get money back to the artists, legitimizing the music. I don't know. I just think it's brilliant.
I have to wonder, uh, pirated music sort of became a thing because no one wanted to spend $12.99 for a single CD for, 10 songs, especially now that a lot of people pay $12.99 have access to
Everything.
huge libraries.
Right.
But I have to think that the majority of that money probably didn't go to the artist for, per album sold. I don't know how much of it did, but I would imagine that the majority of it did not go to the artist. So doing things like this where you're sort of getting back to that purchasing either individual songs or purchasing whole albums. I don't know exactly how it'll shake out, but probably maybe both. But the way LimeWire is planning it, I mean, sort of like we've talked about with these decentralized networks like PancakeSwap, they're just providing a platform for you to interact with somebody else,
Mm-hmm.
and they take a minimal fee for providing that space. And it sounds like that's what LimeWire's doing, is sort of becoming the decentralized music distributor.
Yes,
And that's really cool.
I agree. I think that's what a lot of these NFT providers are doing that are getting in the music game. This is exactly it. I remember reading, had to be about a month ago. I read an article about Steve Aoki, who is a fairly well-known DJ and produces music. And he kind of went out there and he said, in the 10 years I've been making music, 6 albums, and you combine all the advances and what I've made from the sale of the music, what he did in one drop last year in NFTs, he made more money. He also said if it wasn't for live gigs, he would have had to get a part-time job to make ends meet. And this is like somebody who is a well-known name, at least in his genre of music. He's very well known. And to be making so little on what he's putting out there, now this is opening up and allowing him to actually make the majority of the money that's coming in from his music, from his creation, from his artistry. I think it's huge.
Wow.
I think this is what we all want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've talked a little bit before about how when you have no finances, that your only thought is, how do I get more finances? How do I pay my next bill? How do I eat? How do I pay my mortgage? How do I keep the electricity on? And it becomes a challenge to actually be creative, because that creativity a lot of times flows naturally when you're not pressed with all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And this opportunity may actually encourage him to create more music, because he's making more, he's freer, and he can actually do what he loves to do and what he's skilled at doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He said, first of all, he calls himself a futurist, which I kind of like that. I don't know. I like that. But he says he believes that these NFTs for music will truly transform the music industry.
Wow.
And I couldn't agree more. I think he was smart to get in early too. I mean, last year, people were only just learning. I mean, okay, mainstream society was only just beginning to hear about NFTs and what they are and what they can do. I think it's being more widely adopted now in 22, but 21, he's dropping albums and he's already making more than he has in 6 albums before going the traditional
wild
music industry route. It's great. I say kudos to him.
One of the other notes we have is about Snoop Dogg, who is no stranger to the crypto space. He's cryptos or NFTs. I mean, Snoop Dogg has been he's been on it since the beginning, as far as I'm is concerned. Like, he has been promoting it, he's been investing in it, he's been creating in it. But he is looking at taking Death Row Records into an NFT label, which I would assume would function very similar, but instead of being a bit more decentralized like LimeWire might be, it would be a little bit more like a centralized exchange where you would just buy it from them. But with his influence already in the crypto space, that's kind of I think that opens a lot of doors for this to become a really big thing.
Absolutely. And what I've found is, so he's putting Death Row Records as an NFT label on the Gala network, or Gala. I don't actually know how to say this word. I feel like depending on how you were raised, you say it 2 different ways. GALA. And I'm sorry, my daughter's just walking in and trying to talk to me, so I'm getting bug eyes for her. So this network, it was actually Francois a few weeks ago who told me I really need to look into this, that they're really blazing forward with the music industry and turning that into NFT, like combining with NFTs. But it's that network on which Snoop Dogg is putting Death Row Records, and it's already up. I went to the website about an hour ago. Death Row Records is already listed on there. He's dropping music all the time on there. Right now, there are open sales for some of his albums, some of his music. And this is who Steve Aoki is a fan of too, is this Gala network. But what this website says for Gala is they say they're setting music free on the blockchain. They're changing the music industry forever. They're launching a decentralized world and inviting pioneering artists from every genre and their fans to join us. They have 3 principles. They're about empowering artists, so giving them back creative control, giving them the freedom to mint their own NFTs, to drop their own NFTs, and to distribute music how they want. I think that in itself says a lot, just like what we've been talking about, kind of the limitations that these artists have been having, but giving that back to the artists. Championing talent is their second principle. So they're having established artists support emerging artists and new talent to help them also make names for themselves, and sharing rewards. So fans collect music NFTs. They listen to earn extra coins, extra points, extra benefits, and they receive revenue and rewards for supporting artists they love. Like, how does this not sound like best case scenario for everyone involved, except maybe music labels?
Right.
Or at least the established, how they have been operating for the last 50 years.
Yes. And I would say that's true, except for the record labels like Death Row that are standing up and saying, hey, we're going to get ahead of this game. We're not going to stick in the old ways.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I've seen even other big labels who are, I think they would say they're blazing forward. I say they're dipping their toes in the water to see if it's Nice.
Right.
But I saw Sony Music and Universal Music Group. They have announced they're going to be part of this upcoming music NFT platform called Snow Crash that is built on the Solana network. Sony says it's planning to work with them to develop a range of opportunities for their recording artists with a focus on delivering accessible, user-friendly experiences for both creators and fans. That sounds great. I'm a bit surprised that labels with that big of name like Sony Music and Universal wouldn't be partnering with platforms that are a bit more established and well known. That's why I say it seems like they're just dipping their toes in.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, Snow Crash, it's currently in startup position, or I don't know what else you would call that, status. And it hasn't launched yet. And I will tell you, it's not a name that is being thrown around in any crypto circles or any other circles that I've heard of.
Right.
You know what I mean? You'd think with a name like Sony, you could get in with something that's a bit more established and already going.
Maybe that just shows their hesitancy to really get into this, that they're like, oh, maybe they made their own, type of a platform because they don't want to partner with someone else. All those, seems to me that the record label's goals have always been to keep as much money in-house as possible. Probably not the worst business strategy, but in the way that the world is moving right now, it's not going to be beneficial for them.
Mm-hmm. Couldn't agree more. Could not. Looks like Warner Music Group is partnering with Splinterlands, which is a blockchain gaming company, and with the hopes to get its musicians into play to earn games. So it seems very similar to what Sony and Universal are doing, just with another company.
Right.
I like the concept of play to earn. And it's really kind of combining the gaming world with the music world, with the crypto world, like this trifecta of kind of where everything is going. I like that. I'd be curious to see how it plays out.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'm sort of looking through the Splinterlands site while we're talking about this,
Mhm.
and I'll be honest, it doesn't, it looks like kind of a cheesy app game. Like it doesn't, maybe they're trying their best, maybe it'll be successful. It just, to me, doesn't seem like it's probably going to be, it's not going to be as popular as Call of Duty or Fortnite or some of these other big games.
Sure. Sure. Um, let's see what else we have. There's another company out there called Reef that says they're leading the way for the next wave of NFT artists, but they're focusing primarily on graffiti artists and with electronic music artists, which I don't think this is the worst move, to really kind of hone in on certain parts of genres,
Right.
and become great at that. I personally love the idea of focusing on graffiti artists. I think it's an underappreciated art.
Sure.
I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see what else we have. There's another company called Melodity. It says it's taking the music industry one giant step further toward a decentralized creator economy, building Web3 monetization infrastructure to support the industry in new ways. That sounds promising, because a lot of these others have still been pretty centralized, it's sounding like. But to
Hmm.
be moving toward the decentralized creator economy, I think that's amazing. Looks like they're trying to build an ecosystem with a circular listen to earn economy. So I think you would be paying for the music. The more you listen, the more you earn to be able to invest back into the artists. That could be quite great. And I would think would really give some legitimacy to some artists and encourage people to continue listening, continue investing. Yeah, that sounds great. Oh, and they're putting together a music-oriented metaverse. This is interesting to me. Fostering opportunities for music artists and professionals, influencers, creators, fans, gamers, and music lovers to all interact in this metaverse that is based around music. Okay, as a lover of music, I like that idea.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yes.
I'm
Oh,
really excited to see where all this goes, because there's such a blending of music and blockchains and crypto and gaming, and just sort of that whole digital world is moving in the same direction, and like their paths are kind of weaving back and forth depending
yes.
on where different things might intersect. And you have music creators who obviously that's what they're going to focus on, but now they're doing things with different games, and I don't know, there's so many possibilities here. I think it'll be really fun to watch how this unfolds.
It's true. One of the other things I've seen a lot of happening has been the kind of blending of the NFT world with live action events that are happening. FTX, the big exchange that we've talked about a million times throughout our episodes, which we can't partner with because we're US citizens, but that doesn't matter right now.
We can use
FTX.
FTX US.
I know. Okay. FTX is partnering with one of the world's largest music festivals this year and is planning to sell NFTs to its 400,000 person attendee base, I guess. This is Tomorrowland Festival, and it's a festival that's based out of Belgium. What I loved about this is the FTX CEO said, "We are aligned in our shared belief that community, accessibility, transparency, and sustainability are the leading factors for a better tomorrow." I love that.
Yes.
This is what it's all about. Like, I think what this stuff has the potential to do is to build this community and make things accessible in a way that they never have been before. We've talked about this a million times about the community that's being built around cryptocurrency. And it's not just exchanging one token for another. If you look at this, it's about utilizing things that we use anyway. Music. I don't know anyone on the planet who hasn't ever heard music. I'm sure they're out there, but it is such a it's such a uniting thing, just like cryptocurrency has been. And I think to join the two together to really help build community and encourage one another and invest into one another, it's the way it needs to go.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Anyway, great job, FTX. One more thing I want to mention, because it's along the lines of the live events being combined with some metaverse or NFT things. Dolly Parton, who
Dolly.
I love Dolly Parton. I remember listening to my mom's records when I was a little girl. And she's just kind of been around forever in my lifetime. I mean, she has a program where my little girl gets books every month from her. She just is this name, and she's a legend in her own right. But I don't even know how old Dolly Parton is, But she's launching the Dollyverse, a Web3 experience offering limited edition NFTs during her live South by Southwest appearance in Texas. And I'm mind blown. And she's built this whole metaverse, the Dollyverse, kind of like, doesn't she have a theme park, Dolly World or
there
something?
is. She has some sort of venue that you can go to. I don't know exactly what it all is, but
something. But I mean, in an interview with her, she's like, I don't care how technology advances. I just want to be in the front of it. I just want to connect with my fans and I want them to connect with me. And if this is the way we're going to do it, let's do it. And I'm like,
that's
amen,
awesome.
Dolly.
I love it. I love it. We need more people from her age range. I looked up, she's 76, but we need more people from that sort of old world, or the not new artists, to be jumping into this and saying, hey, we're going to really help push this forward. Because some of those established names where they have a following, I mean, she's going to get a whole different age range to be interested in this than like Steve Aoki's going to.
Right. I think we're going to see more and more of it. I just, in doing research for this episode, you're seeing artists from Dolly Parton to Snoop Dogg to Steve Aoki to Kings of Leon to Bob Dylan releasing their music as NFTs. And so if we can get that generation that isn't so comfortable with all the new technological things to participate in this, I think you could see wide adoption. I think you could see the music industry turned upside down.
Yeah.
And I would love to see that. I mean, I love me some Bob Dylan. Shoot. All of these people.
Oh, yes. I'm here for it. Let's go.
Okay.
All right. Well, I think that's probably all we've got for you guys today. Hopefully you have enjoyed our NFTunes. We're trying to just repeat that over and over so people know we came up with it first, because it's a good name
first.
And but anyways, yeah. Thanks. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. We'd love to connect with you guys more. So, have a good one.
All right. Bye. Thank you for listening. Join us every Monday and Thursday as we discuss trading on earth as it is in heaven. If you want to connect further, follow us on social media at market.mystics for Instagram and TikTok, and search for Market Mystics on YouTube and Facebook. If you still need more, follow the link on Facebook to book a coaching appointment. Until next time, see ya.